I had been working at the same company for nearly 9 years. It wasn't just a job anymore. It had woven itself into the fabric of my life. I met my wife there, climbed the corporate ladder step by step, and poured in the kind of hours that made me miss birthdays, holidays, and long weekends. But I always told myself it would all be worth it someday. My wife's father, Richard, was the CEO. That made things a bit awkward in the beginning, but over time, he warmed up to me, or at least, he maintained a strictly professional respect. Even after I married his daughter, not much changed. He kept things formal, never showed favoritism, and I actually respected him more for that. Still, deep down, I had always hoped that years of unwavering dedication would eventually speak louder than titles or names, especially when compared to people like Kyle. Kyle had only been with the company for about 3 years. He was charismatic, but painfully lazy. Everyone saw it. He'd leave early, scroll through his phone during meetings, and somehow never took the fall when things went wrong. More than once, I'd been the one fixing the messes he left behind. But he had charm, slick, effortless charm. He always seemed to say exactly what people wanted to hear. I was the opposite. I kept my head down. I believed in outcomes, not impressions. A few months ago, word spread about an open managerial position, one step below director. It was in the department I had practically built from the ground up. I thought, this is it. This is what all the late nights and missed moments had been leading toward. I submitted my application, and my direct supervisor, Miranda, gave me a glowing recommendation. She told me not to stress. I was the obvious choice. Weeks passed. I went through 2 rounds of interviews. I presented ideas, laid out data, shared my vision for growing the team. I walked out of both rounds feeling confident. Then came the morning meeting. Richard stood before the department with a smile. He said they'd finally made a decision on the new manager. My heart pounded. My palms were damp. I braced myself to hear my name, but he said Kyle's instead. I blinked, looked around, hoping I had misheard, but the applause started. Kyle strutted up to the front with that smug, toothpaste-ad smile, like he'd earned every bit of it. I just sat there, numb, still invisible. After the meeting, Richard called me into his office. He didn't look uncomfortable, just business as usual. Don't take it personally, he said. Kyle just had something extra during the interviews. Extra? I asked, stunned. Like, what? He doesn't even meet half the requirements. Richard gave a shrug. Sometimes personality goes a long way in leadership. I felt the air leave my lungs. After everything I had sacrificed, the overtime, the loyalty, the quiet competence, it had come down to charm. That night, I went home and tried to talk to Emily. She already looked uneasy, like she knew. Did your dad say something to you? I asked. She nodded. He said you'd be upset. Upset? I scoffed. Emily, your dad just promoted the one guy in the entire department who contributes the least. She looked away and said, maybe he saw something in Kyle. But you don't, I said. Her silence echoed louder than anything she could have said. I felt like I was drowning, and the one person I needed to pull me up was handing me a weight instead. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed thinking about every sacrifice I had made for that job, all the birthdays I'd missed, the nights I stayed late instead of coming home, the pieces of myself I had handed over in hopes of something better. By morning, the fog of my mind had turned to clarity. I walked into the office, sat at my desk, stared blankly at my monitor for half an hour. Then I opened a blank document and began to type my resignation letter. I printed it out, walked straight into Richard's office, and placed it on his desk. He looked at it, then up at me, his expression shifting from calm to surprised. You sure about this? Absolutely, I said. I've wasted enough time here. He didn't try to stop me. He simply nodded. I wish you the best. I packed up quietly. Coworkers gave me puzzled looks. Kyle even stepped forward with his hand out, but I walked past him like he wasn't even there. When I got home, Emily was sitting on the couch. I told her I had quit. She didn't say anything for a long time. Then she asked, so what now? I don't know, I replied honestly. But whatever it is, it has to be better than being treated like I don't exist. She looked at me differently that night, not like a partner, but like someone reassessing a stranger. The days that followed were surreal. I started sending out applications, picking up freelance work, reaching out to friends I hadn't seen in years. I went on long walks. I breathed for the first time in what felt like forever. Emily and I started drifting apart. Not because of the job, but because the silence between us kept stretching until there was nothing left in it. One day, without a fight, she packed a few bags and moved back in with her parents. Neither of us said much. There wasn't anything left to say. 2 months later, I heard Kyle got demoted. Turns out, charm doesn't get you far when you don't know how to lead. Richard emailed me. He said he regretted the decision, asked if I consider coming back. I didn't respond. Some lessons don't need to be relearned.